Hello again. Here we go. We're going to talk about blood vessels. Hopefully you are more aware of um, the different types of blood vessels. There's three different kinds of blood vessels, and they're shown here in the diagram on page 68. Right? All right. So again, we're going to look at the fact that we have some text here that doesn't have any definitions or anything, and see if it's information that is new to us or if we kind of know it already. Blood vessels. In the middle 1600s, scientists proved that blood moves in one direction in a blood vessel, like traffic on a one-way street. They discovered that blood moves by the pumping of the heart and flows from arteries to veins, but they couldn't explain how blood gets from arteries to veins. Using a new invention of that time, the microscope, scientists discovered capillaries, the connection between arteries and veins. Okay, so this paragraph is kind of informative, but it really doesn't tell us anything that we're going to need to know and memorize. Just some good information for you. So we've got the fact that this is our third subheading, blood vessels. So it's C. And then we're going to have our first red heading in this section is arteries. So now we're going to read about arteries. We definitely have a definition. And then we're going to learn about what arteries actually do. So, arteries. As blood is pumped out of the heart, it travels through arteries, capillaries, and then veins. Arteries are blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart. Arteries, shown in figure 5, have thick elastic walls made of connective tissue and smooth muscle tissue. Each ventricle of the heart is connected to an artery. The right ventricle is connected to the pulmonary artery, and the left ventricle is attached to the aorta. Every time your heart contracts, blood is moved from your heart into the arteries. Okay, so the ventricles, it goes away from the heart through the arteries. What is an artery? It carries blood away from the heart. On the right side, it goes to the lungs, and on the left side, it goes to the body. Connected to the ventricles of the heart. And arteries are made of smooth muscles. Now we're going to read about veins. If arteries take blood away from the heart, what do veins do? The blood vessels that carry blood back to the heart are veins. All right, I had to take a break. I have no idea where I left off. So we're going to start with veins. Okay, veins, the blood vessels that carry blood back to the heart are called veins, as shown in figure 5. Veins have one-way valves that keep blood moving toward the heart. If blood flows backward, the pressure of the blood against the valves causes them to close. The flow of blood in veins also is helped by your skeletal muscles. When skeletal muscles contract, the veins in these muscles are squeezed and help blood move toward the heart. Two major veins return blood from your body to your heart. The superior vena cava returns blood from your head and neck. Blood from your abdomen and lower body returns through the inferior vena cava. Okay, we have two things going on here. We're talking about the structure of the vein. Uh-oh. Time for the third period to come here. All right, so we have the fact that the veins, how the blood moves in the veins, and then we have the names of the veins and how they're named and where the blood comes from. So we will have here second red heading, it's veins. What's our third red heading going to be? What do you think? Veins carries blood toward the heart, toward the heart. Okay, then we have, you just saw it, didn't you? Connected to the atriums of the heart. How does blood move in the veins? Valves keep the blood from flowing backward. Now, you may be thinking to yourself that down here we have information we didn't put in our outline. You could put it in your outline. Okay, there's really no right or wrong answer for outlines. This is just helping you find main ideas. We are going to be doing diagrams that will help you understand the names of the blood vessels. So you're about to come in the room. It's about to get noisy. I will talk to you later with capillaries. Okay, you don't know this, but I just saw third period and fourth period, and then Kyle came back, and hopefully Kyle had a good afternoon. So now it's lunch. You guys are at lunch, and I am finishing the homework so Caleb can have it ready for him when he gets home, and Josh and Christopher. No, Christopher's not going home. All right, great. Capillaries. So we learned today, seventh period, hasn't done it yet, but about capillaries. And here we go. Arteries and veins are connected by microscopic blood vessels called capillaries, as shown in figure 5. Here's figure 5. Oh, and the other page. The walls of capillaries are only 1 cell thick. You can see capillaries when you have a bloodshot eye. They are the tiny red lines you see in the white area of your eye. Nutrients and oxygen diffuse into body cells through the thin capillary walls. Waste materials and carbon dioxide diffuse from body cells into the capillaries. Now, if you go back and remember what you read in that very first section, this is actually not correct, is it? They don't diffuse. It's something else. Do you remember what that is? All right, what are we going to say about capillaries? We have a definition. What are capillaries? What do? They connect, what? Arteries and veins. What's the other important fact about capillaries? Let's find out. You should know. Okay, they're microscopic. They connect arteries and veins. How big are capillaries? They are 1 cell thick. Okay, what do? They're the most important part. Oxygen and nutrients diffuse into cells. Carbon dioxide and waste move into the capillaries. Let's do this. Oxygen and nutrients diffuse from the caps. Okay, from the capillaries. Stay on one line. Yes. Okay, carbon dioxide and waste move into the capillaries. Okay, so that's where the exchange takes place, is in the capillaries. Now let's switch gears a little bit and talk about what all this means for our bodies. Blood pressure. If you fill a balloon with water and then push on it, the pressure moves the water in all directions, as shown in figure 6. Your circulatory system is like the water balloon. When your heart pumps blood through the system, the pressure of the push moves through the blood. The force of the blood on the walls of the blood vessels is called blood pressure. The pressure is highest in arteries and lowest in veins. When you take your pulse, you can feel the waves of pressure. This rise and fall of pressure occurs with each heartbeat. Normal resting heart rates are 60 to 100 heartbeats per minute for adults and 80 to 100 for children. Why do you think children's heart rate is faster than an adult? Think about that. You can answer that question tomorrow. So 2 questions so far. What can we say about blood pressure? Okay, again, the main facts. You guys may come up with different facts than I do. And that's kind of what we're working with, is to figure out what the main facts are for blood pressure. Okay, it's the force of blood on the walls of the vessels. Where is blood pressure the highest? It's highest in the arteries. So therefore, we're going to say it's lowest in where? Lowest in the veins. Let me turn off the smartboard. It's not working. Okay. So, and what is the heart rate? Blood pressure. Okay. This isn't blood pressure. It's the pulse. So this is how quick your heart is beating. 60 to 100 times a minute in adults, and 80 to 100 times a minute in children. So the question you need to answer tomorrow is, why is the heart rate higher in children? All right, now we're going to look at measuring. Blood pressure is measured in large arteries and expressed by two numbers, such as 120 over 80. The first number is a measure of the pressure caused when the ventricles contract and blood is pushed out of the heart. This is called the systolic pressure. Then blood pressure drops as the ventricles relax. The second number is a measure of the diastolic pressure that occurs as the ventricles fill with blood just before they contract again. Okay? Let's read that again. So, systolic is when the ventricles contract and blood is pushed out of the heart. Your blood pressure goes down when the ventricles relax. So the second number is when the ventricles are filling with blood again. So let's figure out how we're going to express that. We're measuring blood pressure. Okay, so systolic is when the ventricles contract. Pressure of ventricles pushing blood out of the heart. So we defined systolic. Now we're going to define diastolic. Is the pressure when the ventricles are filling with blood. So that is the two numbers that make your blood pressure. Okay, you know, they use a cuff at the doctor's office and they squeeze your arm really tight. Well, we'll talk in class tomorrow about how that works. All right, controlling blood pressure. So your body tries to keep blood pressure normal. Special nerve cells in the walls of some arteries sense changes in blood pressure. When pressure is higher or lower than normal, messages are sent to your brain by these nerve cells. Then messages are sent by your brain to raise or lower blood pressure by speeding up or slowing down the heart rate, for example. This helps keep blood pressure constant within your arteries. When blood pressure is constant, enough blood reaches all organs and tissues of your body and delivers needed nutrients to every cell. Okay? So, to summarize, your body needs to keep the blood pressure normal. And nerves in the arteries help adjust your heart rate. So when pressure is higher or lower, your brain sends messages to the nerve cells to raise or lower the pressure. This is saying the same thing three different ways. That's silly. Alright, so controlling blood pressure. How is it controlled? Okay, it's controlled by the brain sending messages to the nerve cells. Okay, special nerves send messages to the brain to control the heart rate and pressure. That's really all it is. Okay, so you don't want the pressure to be too high or too low. And brain and nerves control those. Super. All right, let's talk about disease and why fatty foods like potato chips are not terribly good for you. Cardiovascular disease. Any disease that affects the cardiovascular system, the heart, the blood vessels, and blood, can seriously affect the health of your entire body. People often think of cancer and automobile accidents as the leading causes of death in the United States. However, heart disease are the leading cause of death when you factor in all age groups. Okay, so from children to very elderly people, all age groups, heart disease is the leading cause of death. Okay, so the first disease we talk about is arteriosclerosis. I didn't even say that right. Good Lord. Atherosclerosis. I thought it was arterial. Okay, well, we'll work together. One leading cause of heart disease is called I feel really silly. I'm not even saying it. In this condition, shown in Figure 7, fatty deposits build up on arterial walls. Eating foods in high cholesterol and saturated fats can cause deposits to form. Arteriosclerosis can occur in any artery in your body, but deposits in coronary arteries are especially serious. If a coronary artery is blocked, a heart attack can occur. Open heart surgery may then be needed to correct the problem. Now, we don't have figure 7 here, but it is in your book. So I want you to take a minute to look at that, and we will look at that together. All right, you don't know that I left, but I did, and I'm back. All right, so arteriosclerosis is fatty deposits building up, blocking the arteries. Remember coronary. What is coronary circulation? Why do you not want your coronary arteries to be blocked? Okay, arteriosclerosis, fat buildup in arteries, icky, from high cholesterol and saturated fats. Okay, can cause a heart attack if it's in the coronary arteries. Hypertension. Another condition of the cardiovascular system is called hypertension. I can say that. Or high blood pressure. Figure 8 shows the instruments used to measure blood pressure. When blood pressure is higher than normal, most of the time, extra strain is placed on the heart. The heart must work harder to keep the blood flowing. One cause of hypertension is arteriosclerosis. A clogged artery can increase pressure within the vessel. The walls become stiff and hard like a metal pipe. The artery walls no longer contract and dilate easily because they have lost their elasticity. Okay, so we'll talk tomorrow a little bit about what that really looks like. But high blood pressure makes your heart work faster. Oh no! I missed oh my goodness. I'm a mess. Okay, here we go. Hypertension. Hello, hypertension is called high blood pressure. And why is it bad? It's bad because the heart must work harder. What causes it? Blocked arteries, okay, which are also known as arteriosclerosis. Okay. Now we're going to do heart failure. Heart failure results when the heart cannot pump blood efficiently. It might be caused when the heart muscle tissue is weakened by disease or when heart valves do not work properly. When the heart does not pump blood properly, fluids collect in the arms and legs and lungs. People with heart failure usually are short of breath and tired. Okay, so heart failure, what is it? Okay, it's weak heart muscle. What's wrong with it? The heart valves don't work properly. And what happens? Fluid collects in the arm, legs, and lungs, and you are short of breath and tired. Do you want to have heart failure? I don't think so. Preventing disease. Having a healthy lifestyle is important for the health of your cardiovascular system. The choices you make to maintain good health may reduce your risk of future serious illness. Regular checkups, a healthful diet, and exercise are part of a healthy lifestyle. Where have we seen that before? Oh, yeah, in the beginning. Many diseases, including cardiovascular disease, can be prevented by following a good diet. Choose foods that are low in salt, sugar, cholesterol, and saturated fats. Being overweight is associated with heart disease and high blood pressure. Large amounts of body fat force the heart to pump faster because there's more places for your blood to need to go. Learning to relax and having a regular program of exercise can help prevent tension and relieve stress. Exercise also strengthens the heart and lungs, helps in controlling cholesterol, tones muscles, and helps lower blood pressure. Another way to prevent cardiovascular disease is to not smoke. Smoking causes blood vessels to contract, as shown in figure 9. Okay, contract means squeeze in. It makes the heart beat faster and harder. Smoking also increases carbon monoxide levels in the blood. Not smoking helps prevent heart disease and a number of respiratory systems problems also. Okay, so this diagram is kind of hard to see, but you see this pink part here is the normal size of the artery. And when you smoke, it causes them to contract, so it's less. Okay, so there's not as much space for the same amount of blood to go through, and therefore, actually it's going this way, isn't it? There's not as much space, and therefore the pressure is higher inside of it. Okay, this one's pretty simple and straightforward. We're going to say preventing disease. We're going to say you want a diet that is low in sugar, salt, cholesterol, and saturated fats. You want to, the more body fat you have, it forces the heart to pump faster. And the last two things are to relax and exercise. And the final one is no smoking, because it causes your blood vessels to contract. Okay, good job. That was a little long. I'm so sorry. Y'all are fabulous, and see you tomorrow.